JKB back with another episode. Today I'm reviewing Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Thanking my girlfriend for getting it for my birthday. I mean, it's one of the best gifts I ever got. And to start out the review, I'm going to say this. Thanks, Nintendo, for not allowing me to put footage into my own review of your game. Even though it's fair use, thanks so much for that. So instead of me going online complaining like, I can't make a Zelda review, I'm making a Zelda review with no footage, and I'm just going to talk about it, and that's the end of that. This right here is the Nintendo Switch. As everybody knows, unless you've been living under a rock, it's portable. You can go anywhere. And the fact of the matter is, when you launch a Zelda game on a system like this, there's something magical that really does happen. The ability to take this thing on the go, but really this means stay in your adventure anywhere you go, changes the way you really review these games. Because I noticed that when I was playing in handheld mode or just tabletop mode, it's a smaller screen, so you're not really getting that experience wrapping around you. You pop it into the dock and all of a sudden it's like this world is on your TV, but then you want to go to the doctors because you found a lump on your dick. You can do that. It's insanity. It's just insanity. Starting with the negatives, and I'm going to fly through this quickly. No spoilers whatsoever. I'm not even going to tell you the scenario where I threw a chicken at one of the goblins, and a million chickens came, and they fucked that guy up, and it was the best thing that's ever happened. Negatives. Let's start with those. The first thing that's a bit of a letdown has to be the goddamn frame rate. This is a brand new system. It's supposed to be a power horse. It's supposed to show off the future of Nintendo. And you've got a game that's, yes, massive in scope. I mean massive in scope. Like, that's an understatement. Think Skyrim times God only knows how big. Like, it's gotta be, I'm guessing here, it has to be the size of Skyrim times, I don't even know how to tell you, like 10, 20, 30, I don't know. It's so big. And it's designed that it's just a massive undertaking that Nintendo went under. But I have to say, I mean, look, when Bethesda released Skyrim, it had issues. When they released Fallout 4, it had issues, frame rate issues, it had pop-in, it had all sorts of problems. And this is identical to that. We have pop-in all the time. Every time you go up into the sky and come down to the valleys or through the valleys into the hills, you're going to see pop-in. That's not the end of the world. I'm not going to give like a negative score for that. However, when the frame rate literally dips to zero frames per second, and you wonder if your system just crashed, that's I'm sorry, but that's a problem in a video game. That is a problem. If this was any other game and I told you, guys, during the game, it dips to 0 frames per second, and you think it fucking crashed, you guys would lose your shit. But no, because it's Zelda and it's Nintendo, everyone's giving that a pass. But me, being honest, like I like to be honest on the show, I have to be honest and say, that's a major disappointment, and that is going to affect the score. I don't give a flying shit. This UI is just so annoying. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is with Nintendo, but they've got a whole screen that they can use, but they only show a certain amount of weapons on screen when you're in the inventory at once. It's one of the weirdest choices they've ever made in a video game. On one hand, they've made a game that will go down in history as one of the best video games ever. But on the other hand, it's going to probably go down as the worst inventory system for an open world game ever. It's unbelievably just lackluster. It's like the last thing they did was like, oh shit, we have a million items and we better figure out a way to show this on screen, and they did it, and it's horrible. That's it. They could fix it easily with a patch, an update. I mean, I'd show you on screen, but I don't want to show any of the footage because I'd like to make some money on the review because I put in the time. Next on the negative aspect is the music. It literally sounds like somebody went to the keyboard, drunk out of their fucking minds, and just went, oh, Zelda, with the keys, and then put a digital reverb on it and went, oh, yeah, make it sound like some sort of data. Yeah, guess what? In 20 years when we're talking about this game, none of us are going to be humming any of the themes. I could still hum all of the themes from all the Zeldas up until, you know, maybe Wind Waker. I can do some of that, the freaking that's not even right, but you get it. You remember those themes. In this, you're gonna remember the sound of a keyboard being thrown down the fucking stairs. Like, it's ridiculous. No one can ever hum it. It's forgettable, and you're gonna forget it right away. Even right now, people that have played it for 80 hours can hear those stupid notes in their head, you know, when enemies approach, but there's nothing memorable. Nothing at all. Like, and it's this, every time you go to a town, it's the same song. What a disappointment in that regard. Some of the voice acting, and I'm not going to get into super detail, you know, a lot of people are like, Zelda's voice is ridiculous. I think she's empowering. She's like a powerful Zelda that we're not used to, and I love hearing her voice. And sure, some of the other voices are quite cheesy, but I gotta say, I like having voices in the game, even though they're a little cheesy at times. I think it brings a new level to Legend of Zelda. Like, it kind of immerses you into the world a little bit more. It's not just like, you don't just go up to people and they're like, you know, they still do that. Like they're gremlins. Like, you know, you go to buy something from the shop and and then you buy something and they're like, and then when you don't buy something, they're like, it's like, we get it. It's classic Nintendo, but you go up to a character now and you're expecting, and all of a sudden they're like, hello there, how are you? And you're like, holy, what the fuck? Now, of course, I want to go into the positives. There's so much to like about this game. It is just obscene. There's so much going on. There's a reason why so many people are giving it 10 out of 10, saying it's one of the best Zelda games and one of the best games ever made. A lot of people are overlooking some of the issues I just told you, and I've been sitting here and I'm thinking, like, is it really a perfect game? And no, like, a 10 out of 10 game is something that needs to be perfect. But then you think, the things that happen during the open world exploration part of the game, which is 99.9% of the game, because there are other things that I won't get into detail here because I'm not going to spoil anything, but when you're walking around and somebody just walks up to you and is like, hey, how are you tonight? And you're like, what is this character doing? What? It's like 3 in the morning and it's totally eerie out, and what do you want? And the character's like, hey, how are you? And you're like, good. And the character's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you now. And you're like, what the hell? In a Zelda game, and all of a sudden it's an assassin sent to kill you or something, and they just want to rob you, and you're just like, I've never seen anything like this in a Zelda game, or anywhere, anything like this. This is just incredible. And it's like, those moments are one after another, after another, after another, and then just unbelievable world design. Just some of the best we've ever seen in a game, period. Yes. Mixed with the fact that you can do anything at any point, however you want. There's some missions that I've seen that take, like side missions, that take the dumbest amount of time to complete. I'm talking about things like, go to here, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And I mean, you get something incredible for doing this, but it's just one after another, surprise after surprise, of the most glorious Zelda moments you'll ever have. However, I mean, it's missing a little bit of that nostalgia Zelda, because it's mixed up the gameplay. He jumps freely now, and you're like, not used to that. And, you know, at the beginning of the game when you start playing, you're just like, what do I do? And that's the point of the game. You do whatever you want. And I could see how, like, some people are saying in the first 5 hours, like, this is the boringest game ever. And if you're not into gaming, and you're just like, I need to play hack and slash, go play God of War. Go play something else that's just pure hack and slash with, like, brutality. That's not what this is. However, I gotta say this. You know, there's moments in this game where Link literally gets just blown up. I don't want to give anything away. There's so much I can say. So, we're gonna just get to the end of the review now, and I'm gonna give you my score of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And you're wondering, like, is the fanboy's gonna give it a 10 out of 10? Best Zelda game ever. Best game ever. Look. My opinion, is this the best game ever? That's something that, guess what? As we all have opinions, we can choose to share those opinions. And I'm not gonna say on the show if it's the best game ever, because guess what? Who gives a flying shit? You go play it, and you find that out for yourself. And if you want to share that with people and have to deal with people being like, he said it was the best ever, he didn't say it was the best ever, I don't want to deal with that stuff. Who gives a fuck if I think it's the best game ever? I think it's a flawed masterpiece. That's what I think. And I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10 and tell you this experience cannot be overlooked, period. If you're a gamer and you're not sick of gaming and you want to actually have amazing moments in video game history, you got to go out there and play this. I don't care if it's on the Wii U or the Switch. You got to go out there and experience it. Do you need the Switch to play this? Absolutely not. If you have a Wii U and you've been on the fence, guess what? My Nintendo Switch is over here. It's just basically a Breath of the Wild player. Till Mario Kart, which I played thousands of hours in anyways. So, I mean, just get the game. That's all I'm saying. If you want to play a good game, Breath of the Wild's definitely one of the best. Is it the best? Find out for yourself. Thank you so much for watching. I am so happy about this game. As you could see back here, I've got everything. I've got like the guidebook, the amiibos, the Master Edition. Thank you so much to ANC for helping me hook me up with that. This has just been absurd. The reason that I've been looking so tired and busy and all of that stuff is Breath of the Wild. One of the best experiences you will ever have with a video game, period. I highly, highly recommend it. I'm going to get back to the other games that I've been just like pushing aside. Tons on my Switch. Horizon I still have here. Sony actually is sending me a copy, even though I went out and got one. We're going to do that too on the show. So thank you so much for watching. And again, is it the best game ever? Go ask yourself that after you've played it. Thank you so much for watching. Mwah.